Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah in Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV gossip. And of course, Jeff Lewis. Get comfortable in comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Do all the things. I would really appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Let's get into House of Villains. I finally watched it, and last night's RHONY. Okay, are you watching House of Villains? I can't say that I knew everybody from the cast, but oh my God, the egos on this show are just ginormous, bigger than Jax Taylor, Omarosa, who I remember from whatever that show is with Trump dude. Oh my God. First of all, she is crazy. She was so rude. Okay, so Joel McHale is the host. I love him. I've seen him in concert, or what do you call it? What's it called when a comedian? I've seen him perform in Houston before, me and my husband. He was so funny. But I sort of loved that they had outtakes and they showed it. Like, that was kind of funny to me. I feel like they broke the fourth wall. Like, they were showing all these things that they were doing. Then finally he just shows up in a fancy car and gets out, and then they start talking about it there. I kind of like that. I don't know. What do you think? Hold on. I realized I didn't have my comments going. Anyway, so it's Omarosa. It is... Hold on. Trying to get my stuff off here. Okay, comments up. It is Omarosa, Johnny Bananas, Jax Taylor, Corinne Shake, Tiffany Pollard, Ann Fisa from 90 Day Fiancé, Tanisha, Bobby Lights, and Johnny Fairplay. So even though I don't know all of their shows, very quickly, I think the show did a really good job of telling us who they were, giving us a little bit of their personality, showing us a little bits of the vibe of why they're a villain, right? I mean, as much as Jax Taylor seems a villain of Vanderpump Rules, he almost seems like one of the nice guys from this show, right? Like, seriously, he was crazy. So Omarosa at first is all rude to Corinne, the girl from the Bachelor show, and is like, Google me. I mean, gross. Like, that was so disgusting. Like, I don't care if she thinks she's playing the show already. Honey, you're on a first season reality, game show, basically. Like, don't be coming in so hot and so rude. I thought it was super disgusting. Yes, the egos in Omarosa is a lot. Let me know, are you going to keep watching it? I have a feeling that as it goes on, I'll either watch less or I'll watch more. I can't decide. I am excited that a few people, the dance moms lady, the teacher lady, Spencer Pratt is going to come on. Carol Baskin. Oh my God, who all didn't watch that during the lockdown, right? I thought the ball game, the little thing that they played, was unique, at least, but it's very much like a celebrity Big Brother of sorts, right? Which a lot of these shows are just a tweak of another show that we already know and love. So I don't know. I feel like they could have gotten some bigger stars, but it is the first season, and I don't know. I can't say it's going to last much longer. You know what show I did like? And Jeff Lewis was on it, and Joel McHale. I think Joel McHale was on it. Oh my God. The show on E during COVID, when Lisa Vanderpump and Pandora would host celebrities. Oh, thank you for the cowgirl hat on TikTok. Hit the tap button to like the screen. That gives us all the likes. Thank you so much on TikTok. Abby Lee Miller, yeah. But that TV show, thank you. The TV show where they would have these themed dinners and they would play games. It only lasted one season. I thought it was really good. Like, I don't know. Jeff Lewis was on it, I think, with Tori Spelling. Do y'all remember that? Y'all tell me if I'm right or wrong. Anyways, I can't remember the name of it. Drinks, dinner with, I don't know what it was. Jeff Lewis for the Trader season 3. Oh my God. You think he would go on it? I don't know. Okay, let's talk RHONY. So today, of course, Erin Lichy, my heart, is on Jeff Lewis again. I did see your comments all over social media, all over the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group. Y'all think it's too soon that she was back on again. Y'all aren't wrong. I mean, I think there could have been a little bit of space between it. I think it's probably good because Jeff is so into the show and he can chat about this gossip all freaking day long. But I think it would have been good if Jessel would have been on with her. But Jessel doesn't seem like she wants to be on with her, and definitely doesn't want to talk about her marriage which is what we want to talk about. Because even last night, I saw some little things. So basically, the first 20 minutes, I thought there were so many of these little bitty scenes not doing much at all. And I was like, oh my God, they've shown us so much already. Like they've been here, they've been there, getting a tree for Brynn's grandmother, her Mimi, I think she calls it, just all these little scenes. And I looked at my recorder thinking, this show's almost over. It was only 20 minutes in. I'm like, oh my God. Yes, thank you, Oceanport Matt. It was called Overserved with Lisa Vanderpump. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much. Anyways, I didn't like it. Like, I just didn't like the quick vibes of the stuff. So quickly they get on to Jenna and her 15-year-old son, Beckett. Now, he's super cute. He seems a little nervous to be in the show, which I understand. But to me, if you're nervous and you're a 15-year-old kid, then just don't be on the show at all. Like, I don't think, if anything, I think she should be required to show her relationship, adults, more than she should be required of sorts to show her teenage son, right? Especially since, she is divorced, so she sees him half the time. Half the time that I had my kid, I probably wouldn't want to spend it filming a TV show, which he's not all that comfortable with anyways. But you hear later on the Watch What Happens Live, they were spotted somewhere recently at a restaurant and he popped up like, oh, I'm her son, Beckett. So maybe he's come around to the little bit of the fame game from reality TV, right? I didn't like the parrot thing. I didn't like the birthday party at all. And it turns out there was hardly anyone. They showed a couple of Brynn's friends. I just figure, she's single, not married, no kids, nothing tying her down. I would think her party would have been filled with friends. And she didn't come with a date. I expected her to come with a date. But then you see the invitation, so weird. It literally is on this gorgeous invitation saying, bring someone you either already make love with or someone you intend to make love with tonight. So clearly when Jenna showed up with this date, Sarah, is that her girlfriend now? Is that the one that she's kind of alluding to, that they're probably engaged? She definitely admitted she put a ring on it, as she told Andy Cohen last night, but she did not answer the information if she's engaged or not. I mean, why make us all wonder? Like, you don't have to give us her name and address and what she does for a living, but you can say if you're engaged or not, especially when you put a picture like that up on social media. You're the one that did that. Like, it's literally like you're begging for the drama or the people to ask you. What do they call it? Like vague posting. Is that what it's called? Somebody is asking if we saw the thing about Brynn being evicted from her New York apartment for not paying her rent. What in the hell is going on with that? That's crazy, right? Okay, so but you can see towards the end of the party, you can see different sides. Like Jessa, Uba, and Jenna seem to be on one side against Sai and Brynn and Erin. And even though they keep saying, like Erin said today, oh, her and Jessel are fine, I felt some digs. I definitely felt some things like when Jeff was kind of putting down Jessel's marriage with Pavitt. I didn't exactly hear Erin defending her, right? Which I'm all here for. If you can't defend it, if you have nothing nice to say, then just say nothing at all, right? Oh my goodness. Jenna started at J. Crew. So one thing I don't get about Jenna is she kind of alluded to this a little bit on Watch What Happens Live, that she has no confidence, and the birthday party. I'm like, how can you be so successful in your career and yet be such what seems to be like so insecure in your personal life with your personal, like she had just gone on her first girls trip. But then on Watch What Happens Live, they asked, what's her face? Oh my God, what's her name? Julia Fox. That outfit was crazy. They asked Julia Fox, who's a big Bravo fan, what her dream, like ultimate girls trip people would be, group. And Jenna is sitting there pointing at herself. I'm like, you were the last person to go on an ultimate girls trip. First of all, you wouldn't have fun. You would have super anxiety about being on a trip. You haven't gone on a lot of girls trips. You're not super open about your personal life. You don't like to fight. You don't like drama. I don't even think she drinks alcohol, which all I think about with an ultimate girls trip, sadly, is like people getting sloshed. I just think, no, like this is not for you. I don't want her to return to season 2. I just don't think it's a good fit for her. Like, I feel like she's super uncomfortable with everything. And if she needed to teach people and let people know that she has an eyelash brand, then great. I can't even think of the name of it right now, but she was showing it on the show last night. But she's rich, she's famous already. I guess these people can never have too much money, but it just didn't seem like a fit for her. I don't know. Yeah, Sunny. How does she hang out with famous people? I don't know. I guess in the designer world, she would become friends with models, friends with photographers, friends with celebrities that way that come to the modeling shows or whatever these are. So that's how. I don't know. She just doesn't seem to have social skills. And I think she admits to that a little bit for sure. What did y'all think about Brynn wanting everyone to get into circle and airing their grievances? Oh my God. Even Erin kind of definitely dogs that on today's Jeff Lewis Live. She was like, nobody wants to do that. I feel like that's all we did the entire season was air our grievances. Like everything was like have an argument and then wrap it all up with a bow. Like, I don't want that. I want something keeping me going, something making me want to look at the next episode. I felt the excitement the first 2 or 3 episodes. And then I felt like I was just watching the show, probably because I love Erin so much and she's so damn cute. But I already think we're going to mix up. I don't think they will. I feel like they're always going to have at least the same people for 2 seasons because they always say you've kind of got to get to know them. Things might change. A lot of people did not like Jessel in the beginning. A lot of people like Jessel now. She doesn't really do it for me either. Like, I don't know. I feel like she's so nervous, like about her weight and her body, about being with these other people. I don't know that I always get that vibe from her that she's super worried about that. And I think this kind of show, feeds into that kind of insecurity for damn sure. Right. Okay. What did you think about Sai spilling Uba's secret about her guy in Connecticut? Like, that was so wrong. But I love that I love that Sai ends up getting pissed at Brynn for spilling it when, I don't know, it's not an excuse that Brynn was drinking, but I feel like like I've said, they're playing the game. They were already talking about, I told you this off camera, so that information was not supposed to bleed over into this. Well, I think Brynn knows the game, and Brynn's like, off camera, on camera, it doesn't matter. If this is good information, we need to bring this up, right? This sort of reminds me, and it's totally different information because it's not the same level at all, but it makes me think of who was Kelsey Grammer's wife? That girl from Beverly Hills, whenever she said something on air about Taylor's abuse that she had shared with other people off camera. I felt like that was probably her way of trying to help Taylor. Camille Grammer, yeah. I feel like that was probably her way of trying to whatever, but I also feel like she was just kind of bringing in the drama, which was a whole different deal because we know how that played out, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so Watch What Happens Live was Jenna and Julia Fox. I mean, it was interesting. Julia Fox, I guess, has a book out. She has definitely talked about dating, I guess. What's his face? Kim Kardashian's ex, Kanye West. They never really had a sexual relationship at all. She definitely felt she was controlled by him. And she gave some advice to his current wife and said, like, just hang in there. It'll get better. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. That was super weird advice. Yes, Sheila says, Brynn is like a 13-year-old. Could she talk any faster? I mean, Brynn, and then at the party, she pulls, was it David? Was it Sai's husband and Abe, her old man, Abe, that she loves, pulls them together. And I don't know, like talking about being friends with their wives because she really wants to get closer to them and hang out with them more. And I'm like, what? Like, no, I mean, I get that some girls are not girls, and they really have all guy friends. And that might be something with Brynn. I don't really know anything about her. But I don't think you need to do that with somebody's husband that you're friends with on a show. And I say friends loosely because I don't really think any of these people are friends. Acquaintances, maybe. that do a show together. You know what I mean? And I want to see Friends. I want the OGs back. Somebody said, did you get any insight on why Stu didn't do the after show? No, but we will chat about that soon for sure. Because I was super confused by Jeff today, as always. Oh my God. Okay. Let's get into today's Jeff Lewis. It was Erin Lichy from Real Housewives of New York City. She was just on about a week and a half ago when he was there super quick to film that scene with Kate Bosworth. Okay, so he did tell us, kind of digging at Jessel, that he tried to get her to come on with her, but she apparently said, I need to talk to my PR team, when she probably is the PR team, because I think that's her job. Like, what? I mean, even Erin was like, we all have a PR team. And I do believe that. Like Erin says she has one for her brand. You know, she's an interior designer. She's a realtor. Now she's got this mezcal business that's, that's coming up in the next few months. So I do think they have that, but I just think it's kind of cheesy to say that, to say, I need to talk to my PR team and then to turn it down. I'm like, dude, do not turn this down. Like, having Jeff Lewis in your corner is probably a good thing, right, Tim Johnson? Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get into this $10,000 dinner that he had last night. So we know this is the second one this year. He used to charge $2,500, then it was $5,000, and then he said, you know what? I'm just going to throw out the number of $10,000 and see if they'll pay it. Well, these three affluent women in New Jersey decided to pay it. They had dinner with him at some place called Benjamin Prime. Is anyone in that area? I guess this is in New York. So I guess New Jersey, they were close enough, or it was worth the drive, however they got there. I mean, if they're rich, they could have taken this Blade helicopter for all I know, right? But they go to this steakhouse. There's wine, there's cocktails, there's champagne. Then they leave and go to another bar afterwards. Can you even imagine? Where are these pictures of Jeff Lewis out in the wild? Like, why don't we see anyone take him? I mean, we're all obsessed with him. Isn't the world like looking at Jeff Lewis going, oh my God, that's Jeff Lewis out at a bar? Like, why aren't they taking pictures with him and posting it? So if you go to his Jeff Lewis, JL Jeff Lewis on Instagram, there's like three, there's one that's like his grid. The middle one is all reels that he would do, anyone on anyone's Instagram. And the other side is like anything that Jeff Lewis has been tagged in is going to show up there. So I did go look just to see, because sometimes fans will tag him in a picture and then it'll show up there. I didn't see anything. I almost can't imagine because he talks about it on the radio. I think if he didn't talk about it and nobody knew, they just thought he was friends with them and had dinner with them, I think people would take a picture and maybe post it on their Instagram and tag him, right? But the fact that he talks about it, I don't know. I don't want to say embarrassing, but I wouldn't want people to know. And no, I'm safe in Texas. I was nowhere there. It is not me. I've never paid for a dinner for anyone. It's never even crossed my mind. Like, I never even knew this was a thing until Jeff talked about it. But it almost seems embarrassing. Like, I wouldn't want to admit that I paid $10,000 to have dinner with Jeff Lewis and Shane. Now, a lot of y'all are putting on the Jeff Lewis Obsessed Facebook group that you would pay to have dinner with Doug Buden. And oh my God, I so would. I think he'd be, just so fun, so easy to chat with. And I'm sure Jeff is too, but just, I'd be a lot more at ease with Doug than I would Jeff, right? Doug seems a little judgy, especially when he tells us on the air that, well, one of them got sloppy drunk. Oh my God, I would just die, because those two other friends are like, oh man, there she goes again, like embarrassed. And then Jeff goes and talks about it. Oh my God. If you had $10,000, would you spend it to have dinner with Jeff and Doug? Or is there another celebrity that you would do it with? Laura says she'd rather go with Doug. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Sheila says I wasn't impressed by Julia Fox. No, kind of weird. And I was almost surprised that she was on Watch What Happens Live, right? I mean, I know she's promoting a book, but I was almost surprised. I figured on, just like on the end of a RHONY or one of the housewives shows, a lot of times they'll have one or more of the housewives from that show. So I felt like, and then she lets us know who was at the show with her. Again, at Watch What's Happened Live, this lets you know sort of what their what sides they're on, right? It lets you know that Jenna is sided. Who was there? Uba? Oh my God, who was there? I'm forgetting who it was, but like 2 or 3 other. Erin definitely wasn't there, but I follow her on Instagram. I think she was somewhere else for somebody's birthday dinner. Oh my God, Alicia says you would have dinner with Krista Lamas. I love that. Oh, Sherry Jameson could buy a new Hyundai and 3 dinners. Oh my God. He could even have one of the electric cars, right? Oh my gosh. Dee Dee says paying that much to go to eat with him, that's crazy. Did you see Reddit talk about you? Oh goodness, I did hear a little rumblings about that. I'm not on Reddit. I don't even understand it. I guess it's an app or a message board of sorts, but I think the whole point is for people to be anonymous. So I feel like they can say anything. I did get some screenshots yesterday. I guess they were all up in arms about something. So anyways, oh, somebody says they defended me. Thank you so much. I do see when people try to defend me on some of the mean Facebook Jeff Lewis groups, and oh my God, don't even try. You'll never convince them. A lot of them don't have facts. A lot of them don't listen to me, and so they get like bits and pieces of stuff, or they'll watch one of my videos and think that's all I've ever said about a certain subject, and it's not true at all. Anyways, but just to clear it up, I am not a Heather McDonald hater at all. I went to her show last year for BravoCon. I'm going to it this year for BravoCon. Just like everyone, though, I don't love everything about everyone. I don't love everything about Jeff Lewis. Oh my God. If I had $10,000, I wouldn't spend it going to dinner with him. It's just not what I would do with the money, not what I would do with my time. I think it'd be super awkward, right? But I don't have to love him to be a fan of someone. I don't have to love everything about everybody, right? Anyways, okay, let's keep talking about Jeff Lewis. Doug ends up coming. Oh, let's talk about it. So we know this whole thing going on with this 789, how Jeff said he signed a bad deal, right? So then he teases it in the first segment, says, afterwards, we're going to talk more about my fans going on strike against SiriusXM. And I'm like, oh my God, did you just say that? Like, I'm dying. So he doesn't talk about it. He waits and he talks about it later. But he basically does this chant and lets us know it is his bad deal also is about that SiriusXM has not paid the co-host, the chumps as he calls them, for the Jeff Lewis after show. And then he says, Tim Johnson has to go. That is his big boss. I hope Tim Johnson, Jim Thompson, whichever his real name is, I hope he's got a sense of humor. I did see a little rumblings on social media saying that he's in on the joke, that they all are doing this for ratings and for drama. I mean, I sort of hope so, because if not, I'm dying. I cannot believe Jeff would say something so ballsy as to saying that the listeners need to strike against him. Of course, he changed that about 10 minutes later. He was just being silly, but it was crazy. Crazy. Oh, y'all are so sweet. Oh, you made my live the first time. Thank you, Mona. I'll put your comment up. I kind of made your live first time. You kind of did. Oh, wait. You need to Paulette says you need to change the name of your channel. I thought this was only about the Jeff Lewis show. I mean, there's only so much you can say about Jeff Lewis. Clearly I do talk related stuff. Oh, thank you for the badge on Instagram. I appreciate it. Anyways, okay, so they talk about that. Then they tell us about Abe, Erin's husband, is going to be at BravoCon at the booth. I don't know what mezcal is. I don't even think you can. There was lots of alcohol booths there last year. I know Bruce Bozzi had one. Dorinda's booth, but I don't think you buy the alcohol there. For some reason, I feel like you buy it and they mail it to you. I'm not sure if legally there's a way for you to like buy the alcohol there necessarily. But anyways, I'm not into mezcal, tequila, whatever that is, but just knowing that Abe will be there at the booth, that sounds kind of fun. So Doug calls in because he wants to talk about the lounge within the lounge within the lounge, which is the relatable part of the show, right? I mean, I barely go to one lounge, much less the lounge within the lounge. I can't imagine how much money it would take to have in the bank for this cheap girl to spend to have a first class ticket. Now, if somebody wants to pay that for me, oh my God, I'm all in. But if they offered to give me the difference in cash, honestly, I'd probably take that and go shopping at TJ Maxx. But Doug calls in, and so we know that he was put in place of Chef Stu. So Chef Stu was announced that he was going to be on the show, the after show today with Monica, which is such a good pairing. They had gone together, and they talk about this today, to the Taylor Swift movie show, movie theater, Friday night. I don't know if it was on his Instagram subscription or on his regular, but he and Monica definitely made a video together saying, watch us. We're going to be on Monday's after show. And then yesterday, the little thing that comes out, that like the little musical Instagram reel sort of that comes out, has Doug on there with Monica. They don't say a word. Jeff talked. Michelle says maybe he had to work. He normally works at the evening, but I guess he's filming commercials. I think he has a commercial. Didn't he film something soon for recently for Nutrisystem? Oh, in some pot, something. He filmed something for something. Anyways, but they don't say a word about it. Jeff sounded normal, like he was talking about Friday night. Of course, he made some loving jabs at Stu, talking about, being so into Taylor Swift and wearing this Taylor Swift, special hoodie and all this stuff. Nothing sounded off. But I think Jeff has definitely been on pause with him and kept it a secret from us before, right? I think he told some of those secrets to Zach Noe Towers recently on that interview. Flights over 4 hours must be first class, even for the middle class. Money well spent. Girl, I even flew, I think she was 20 at the time. Yeah, my 20-year-old and I went to Germany, or Italy, December 2021. I think. And I didn't buy us special tickets. Nope, sure didn't. 10-hour flight, we did it just fine. I mean, you have a little more room on those international flights, but no, we were fine. We sucked it up. Oh my gosh. Oh, Victoria says maybe Stu and Jeff got into a fight at Taylor Swift. I just think Jeff would have told us about it, right? I don't know. I'm getting to where I don't know what Jeff tells us and what he doesn't anymore, right? Because I do think sometimes he's starting to keep things to himself. I don't know. Monica said she might go to BravoCon. Do you think she's on hold to take Stu's place if they are on pause? Oh, no. No, I don't even want to think about that. BravoCon is only a few weeks away, but, so much can happen in that time. We've got Halloween in between there. No telling what can happen then, right? What else? Doug and Monica on the after show. It is such an easy conversation. They do, even though they had a kind of a bicker because, of course, Doug started telling this real detailed story and Monica was like, yeah, I think we've got a caller. So then they go into a caller. Doug was at Zach Noe Towers' dip party last night. So I think it was actually a birthday party because they do mention that Zach Noe Towers' birthday is, I think, Wednesday. So make sure to send him a shout out on DM or something. But Doug mentioned something that is very important to me. He says he didn't really know a lot of mutual friends there, even though Jameson was at the birthday party too. He wanted to make sure with this dip party, there wasn't a lot of double dippers. Dude, I am so with Doug on this. I cannot stand when someone double dips. God rest her soul. My stepmother-in-law, is that what it's called? When your husband has a stepmom? She was married to my father-in-law for many years. She's since passed away. But we were out at a kind of like a Chili's or like a sports bar type place years ago in Oklahoma. And she ordered this like dip platter for us. And she was double dipping. And then she kept and I saw it. I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I just can't. And she was like, basically noticing that I wasn't eating that dip anymore. And it's almost like she was doing it on purpose to be gross and like double dipping even more. And then like asking me and put me on the spot. I mean, was she an amazing person? Not necessarily, but, But I was just like, oh, no, I'm just not hungry anymore, which I'm always an eater. I am never the person that's like, oh no, I'm full. I'm never full. My stomach is always ready to eat really good food. Oh my God. Eating only half the chip. Yeah. So she would bite into it. And I think it was like a spinach dip. It was one that was like 2 or 3 different dips. So all these different things that you could just mix all the dips. And she was double dipping. And I'm like, oh no, like I just can't. Oh my God. Um, are we curious why Jamie's not on this week? I mean, I wonder if a lot of us, like me, need a little break from Jamie. It didn't bother me so much that Jamie, when he was on with Amanda McCants, I don't think he did anything wrong. What I minded was when he was on the next week with Monica Casey and pretty much took up the whole damn hour defending himself and making it even worse. I didn't love it. I know there's a lot of people that love Jamie Kennedy, but I don't love him to begin with. But I also thought that hour with Monica was super cringe, and it just kept getting worse. And I'm like, oh my God, we've got to stop talking about this. It was just gross. Yeah, MJ is back, right? We know that MJ is back from, but then again, she doesn't exactly live close to going to SiriusXM. Like it's a like an overnight deal for her to like come in, either stay at Jeff's house, get a hotel. So I think being gone that long, and probably with her business, her real estate business, she probably has to come back and get all that crap going again, right? Jamie's a bit depressing on the show. He's not being his funny self. Yeah, and I have heard that he's really funny. I don't necessarily see that. But everyone has their own different style of comedy. He's probably not my style. I'd be curious to go to see him live. But then again, I've seen comedy specials on Netflix of people that are like, you know what I mean? And then who is it? Dave Chappelle. We've seen one of his shows on Netflix and we were like, not that good. We didn't love it. My friends and I went and saw him a few months ago live in Houston. The whole damn show sucked. Like it was so awkward. I felt like all he did was stand up there. He was on this little bar or stool. I'm sorry. He was drinking, which is fine. I felt like all he was doing was getting off the bar stool to go and laugh at his own freaking jokes. And I'm like, it wasn't that funny. And then he was making digs at his wife, who he's been married to for like 20 something years, like about cheating. And I'm like, oh my God, it was just awkward. I mean, it's almost like, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't want to hear all those details. Like, I don't want to know all about that. It was kind of weird. Kind of along those lines, did y'all see that Tori Spelling? So the story came out at the end of last week, some pictures of her ex, Dean McDermott, going in, holding hands with a supposed girlfriend, going into like the welfare building. Okay. Now, I don't know if there's a sign that says welfare building, if it does other things. He didn't seem to deny that he was going into the welfare building, but we know he's an actor by career. So since they're on strike and, he probably can't make any money. And we know they're not good with money, apparently. But Tori Spelling's response to that was some pictures that got shown of her and her kids. And she makes a story, an Instagram story, I think, basically saying how bad, I think it was Daily Mail she was mad at, about Daily Mail, like, you took these pictures of me without my permission. I'm like, I mean, so are you admitting you have permission paparazzi pictures? Like, what are you trying to say here? But she was basically saying these pictures y'all took before, he was seen with his girlfriend. So you're trying to make a story out of this because the story said something like, here's Tori hanging out with her children after the story of her ex-husband comes out with the girlfriend. And that wasn't the case. It was like, she's a freaking single mom. Like, I don't even know that Dean is even seeing the kids. I don't know. So every day she's hanging out with her kids, being a mom to them, right? It wasn't that she was hanging out with them because, Dean McDermott was seen with a girl. Sarah says, I don't understand how they have no money. They've consistently worked, so it's odd. I know. I mean, no one can say Tori Spelling is lazy. She is a worker bee. She is really good at promoting. She seems to have a really good business mind. I wonder if she just makes bad deals. I don't know. Or if she's just spending it. Like everything she does, a lot of stuff. Right before she and Dean announced this divorce, the day before Father's Day. Odd. Dean posted and then deleted it 10 hours later. They were on this big trip to the Beverly Hills Hotel, and you could clearly tell it was all promoted because she was promoting it. I mean, I love Tori. I really do. I mean, Tori Spelling, Donna Martin. But a lot of things she does is for promotion, right? So I don't know. God bless. Well, they have like 10 kids and live in Southern California. I think they have 5 kids together, and I think he has 2 with other people. 2? Kind of not 1, because I think they were divorcing. Or is that Slade I'm getting mixed up with? Am I mixing up Slade? I mean, they're similar, right? Gretchen Rossi and Slade, you know, how they got together, and Tori and Dean McDermott. I don't know. Yeah, Jamie says Dean got a new girl. They were at the welfare office together. Oh, and what happened to all those animals that Tori had? Like the pigs, the chickens, the cats, the dogs. Like, where are they? Where is she living? It's a lot. He has an adopted daughter and son with wife number 1. I know, but is that Slade or is that Dean McDermott? I feel like one of them, the wife was adopting a kid on her own while the divorce or separation was happening. So that he's not necessarily a dad in that child's life, I think. Or maybe he did become a dad, but he's not on the birth certificate. I can't remember. It's a weird story about that. I can't remember what it is, though. One son from his first wife, then a daughter with his first wife was adopted, but it was at the time of the separation or divorce. It was something weird with that for sure. Oh, sorry, I'm missing those things. Dolphins Girl says, what happened with the mediation? I only watch the shows on YouTube and the free podcast. We talked about that on Fridays. So it's still ongoing, apparently. Like, I don't think that's going to be fixed for months. Like, he got one of the things, he can't tell us exactly what happened with the mediation with him and Gage, but he said that they got one of the things fixed. We are guessing that it is the fact that she is going to be able to go to counseling, because I think he did say that Gage already has a counselor for her. So, anyways, oh gosh, I'm missing all y'all's comments. I'm sorry. Thank you, Marie. F those Reddit tools. You always fair and come from a place of a good intentions. The crack of dawn in Australia and wake up to catch your show live. Thank you, Marie. I mean, honestly, haters are always going to have their own slanted, opinion about something. Just like if I don't like someone, if I hear it, I'm going to hear it very differently than somebody that's a huge fan, right? Speaking of, the Rick and Kelly show this morning, I didn't love it. I listen or I watch almost every day that I can. I just didn't love today's show. It was a lot about how much money the Patreons have and the house that she stayed at, which I think she and Rick are trying to be complimentary of the people that hosted them in this, was it Birmingham, Michigan, for their live show Friday night. So that I see as a respectful thing and a complimentary thing, but it just seemed everything was all about the money and who has money and how big of houses they've been in. And I don't know. I don't know. It was just, it wasn't my favorite Rick and Kelly, but we all have moments, and some people that are huge Rick and Kelly fans probably love the show. I just didn't love that show. Doesn't mean I'm never going to watch again. I mean, Raquel is in Australia too. Hello. Yes, Melanie. I know. Slade's situation with his son was awful. How does Gretchen live with that dude? I know. It's almost like somebody that says, your friend is so mean to other people and they're just waiting on them to be that way to you. I feel like but it's been a long time. Maybe Slade's a new person. I don't know. He did seem pretty slimy. Oh, and when he called Vicky Gunvalson a pig or Miss Piggy, that was disgusting. I really thought that was disgusting. Yeah. I love that. Pear Tree says, I love the Rick and Kelly show and know you're not a Kelly fan. Really obvious. Oh, I don't think that's really obvious at all, actually. I don't have to love everything that she says, so I just don't. Anyways, but again, if you're a huge Rick and Kelly fan, you're going to hear me as if I'm like not. If you're a huge Heather McDonald fan, you're going to hear me as if I'm not, instead of just, you know, ask the facts. Love of life. Kelly's big issue about the OC, it lacks opulence. I think she loves the opulent. Yeah, and I don't disagree with her on that. Absolutely. I want to see extravagance. I want to see real friends. I want to see all of their lives. Now, if I think it's something like, kids, mental health, I think there's extremes where I think people can demand their privacy, even though on a reality show. If you're giving enough of something else, if you have a story to tell, if you have nothing to going on, and there's one big thing going on in your life and you've decided you're not going to share that with production, I just don't think you should be on a reality show then. But I do want the OC, I do want all of them to be rich people. I do. I want them to be doing things that I'm not doing, not just like going on some random boring trip. Just like when Real Housewives of Salt Lake City last season, maybe the one before that, they go to this house on vacation and it looked like it was stuck in the 80s. I'm like, that's not the house I want to see y'all going on a girls trip. I want some crazy rich house. Like, I don't want this house that looks like, I could afford it. I want someone from Salt Lake City, like Jen Shaw, to afford it. Kidding. We want to see LVP, not someone in Orlando in a cul-de-sac. Shout out to those in Orlando in a cul-de-sac. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do y'all have any questions? We usually do try to leave questions at the very end. Thank you for joining live. Please make sure to follow, subscribe, hit the like button, comment anything. I promise you it helps with my engagement, so I would really appreciate it. This goes up live, as a replay everywhere except for TikTok. Sorry, TikTok. And of course, it's available about 10 minutes later, everywhere you get your podcast. Everything is under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. And BravoCon is knocking on my door. I cannot wait. Still don't know exactly what Jeff Lewis is doing there. We know he's going to do something on Friday. We know that Megan and Doug are going to be there all 3 days. They're going to be walking around, highly encouraging people to find them. So that is going to be so much fun. I am still holding out hope that Jeff announces that he's going to let fans come to watch or listen his live show on Thursday. We know now, he's told us, he's recording Thursday's live, and then he's going to pre-record Friday's show because he's going to be busy the next day, right, with BravoCon. Are you going to do some special live shows from BravoCon? I will not be able to go live at the 2:00, maybe the Thursday, maybe the Monday, but definitely not Friday's show because I'll be at BravoCon itself. But I don't know. I will let y'all know. The best way to get all the latest information is my Instagram stories. Instagram is just so much easier to just like throw up information in my stories. So probably that's where I'll do a lot of stuff. And I'll put up a lot of information there. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Do you think Jeff can get Julie without Brandy? No. If you've read the comments, Brandy and Julie are a team, which I respect. There's like over 1,100 maybe comments underneath Brandy's post from last week that said like, wow, such a tool, talking about Jeff Lewis. Somebody, we talked about this Friday, but somebody in comments was basically saying they really like Julie, but not Brandy. And Julie came after that person, like after him, basically saying, don't like me unless you also like Brandy, is basically what it said. So I absolutely don't think, I think personally, professionally, there's no breaking those two up. And oh my God, can you imagine the FU that Brandy would feel if Julie did something, even if she came to a chump event, even if she had dinner with Jeff, oh my God, no way. But if she did something professionally, like for money, oh, that would not go over well. I don't feel like at all. Oh, shout out. Krista says, Julie and Brandy are a package deal, very codependent. Julie has been punished for years. She will never leave her, though. I don't know. I don't know enough about them. Again, I knew sort of the couch show. the People's Couch. I know more of them from, the Jeff Lewis live show. They're definitely a package deal professionally for sure. Anyways, well, thank you so much for joining live. It is way more fun. So try to join us every weekday at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, almost everywhere. Everything is under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. If you're watching on the replay, shout out, please please make a comment. I would really appreciate it. And make sure you're following me everywhere under Jeff Lewis Obsessed. Bye, Chumpettes. Bye, Instagram. Tori is a huge hoarder, and that is why she has no money. Yep, you're not wrong.